Well, we had a ceasefire.
Yes,
Well, did we have a ceasefire?
I'm not sure.
Was it a ceasefire or was it not a ceasefire? We'll talk about all that and everything else, and it was a lot that happened this week.
TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello.
Well, thank you guys. It is still so exciting to be in this part of transitioning into the new place. By the way, I want to take a second and say, we've all these years, it's been 4 years now we've been passing out food because of you guys. For 4 years, because of your support, we've been able to feed God's people here in the nation of Israel. The children here that are going to bed hungry. But for all those years, we've been videoing the passing out of the food, and we were videoing ourselves. So we was okay with that, and it was a wonderful way to show you what you are doing. But now in a new place, we're going to have to work. I want us to keep doing a video clip every week for that week's delivery of food, because I think it's a blessing we all should take part of. But we need to be sensitive. We don't want to put their faces all over the internet, right? All the people who are just hurting and need food, right? So maybe if I get from their back, but we'll work. We're working the details out. But this week was the first week with the new place. We were able to start passing out food. Thank you guys. None of this would not have been possible without your support for the past 4 years and continuous monthly support to continually buy all this food to pass out to these people. Wow.
Yes, and we're already growing. This was the first time we got people coming to us, and we're already growing. And that it just shows that God in this place, Amen. God actually.
Amen. Yeah, two people brought their mothers
already.
Yeah. I'm so excited about all the new things. I'm so happy you brought that up. It's true. We've already started growing, and we know we're going to grow exponentially. There's going to be a day here pretty soon where we call up the social worker and we say, let's double the amount of families we're giving food to.
Yes.
It's coming right around the corner. And it'll be very exciting to it's just so exciting.
Yeah.
If you haven't been a part of this and you want to be a part of this, there are links below all of these videos on the YouTube, all of them, to the Patreon page or to the Support Us page on the website. Or all you got to do is go to your web browser, type in thegoldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page there and figure out whichever way is best for you to be a part of this blessed, wonderful thing that we are doing, feeding God's people here in the land of Israel. I love you guys for everything we're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. We started this week with Monday being the most rockets and UAV fired in one day since the beginning of this war. Over 300 fired from Hizbollah into Israel, including 5 separate barrages fired as far south as the center of the country. In one day, we had 5 attacks on the center: Tel Aviv, Hasharon, Herzliya, Netanya. During this day, with over 600 sirens going off, during the day we had 8 injured. Just to remind you, all of this is going on while the US is pressuring us to make a deal with Hezbollah for a ceasefire.
Right.
So we get hit, but Biden's still pushing us to make a deal.
Yeah. It's just the way it is over here, for us here in the Middle East. We're the ones who always have to make the sacrifice, it seems like. We get attacked, we get killed. All of our enemies outwardly say how the only goal they have is to wipe Jews off the face of the earth.
Yes.
And we still have to be the ones who sacrifice and give up and give in.
Yeah.
It's amazing. On Tuesday night at 8 p.m., Netanyahu addressed the nation to speak about the ceasefire with Lebanon that took effect on Wednesday was supposed to be at 10 a.m., changed to 4 a.m. In this address, he spoke about how if Hizbollah made any aggressions toward Israel, then we will attack with full force. He also spoke about the reason we are making this ceasefire is because Biden is holding Israel hostage by withholding the weapons deliveries that were desperately needed. And by the way, deliveries that Israel had already prepaid for. What he didn't say was that the ceasefire expires only a few days after Trump takes office. In other words, let's put this thing on ice and pick it up once Trump gets back into the White House. So there's a lot said and was a lot not said in Netanyahu's speech. You know, he said that it was important for him to remind that it was partially because we aren't getting the military equipment we need. You know, Biden was holding us hostage, basically.
Yeah. He said three important things, in my opinion. One was that actually now we're gonna have to be focused on Iran, and
Yes.
that's a very
That's good.
important. That's important thing.
That's good.
Yeah. And the second thing, he said that our troops also achieved most of the goals that we wanted in Lebanon. And
I agree to that.
They have to also recuperate and rest, and we have to. It's good for us too. We actually try to convince Israelis.
Yeah, that's not true.
Israelis.
That's not true.
And the third thing he said about Biden withholding weapons, he said it very nice, trying to be politically correct, but you can understand right away that, and we know that precise weapons, heavy weapons, and ammunition, and D9s,
the big, huge bulldozers,
which save our soldiers' lives, was stopped.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. But also the whole thing, don't forget, is an expiration date on January 24th, 4 days after Trump takes office. So really, I think this whole thing is just two main points. One, Bibi says, I'll agree to your ceasefire to receive the weapons that we already paid for, the military equipment we already paid for, and lift the embargo. And two, let's just put it on hold until Trump gets here.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I really think that's what's happening.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's going to last so long, and we'll talk about it
Let's
later.
talk about it.
Yeah. At 10:30 p.m. Israel time on Tuesday, Biden made his speech about the ceasefire. While he stand with a show of support, saying how both Hezbollah and Hamas started this, and Hezbollah is a terrorist organization that needs to be dismantled, his speech quickly turned into be support of two-state solution, or Israel giving away the little land that we have to the enemy that wants us dead.
Yeah, it's real quick he turned that around, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was, once again, it was all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But we know why Biden wants the ceasefire. It's just he just wanted for his resume, right, to say I fixed the
like
war.
A stamp
to take that away from
he also
away from Trump. And he also mentioned how this was a permanent ceasefire. This was the end of the war, which was a absolute lie. He knows it was it has an expiration date, the ceasefire. It says
60 days.
Yeah,
he also talked about Saudi and how we're going to make peace and everything, and, normalization. I'm sorry, not peace. I don't know.
No one makes peace anymore. We normalize nowadays. Because peace is way too far to ask for. We just want to be normal.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Well, in Israel, the people of the north, the ones that have been relocated for over a year and have not seen home for all this time, are speaking out. Even the mayor of Kiryat Shmone is publicly speaking about the fears of moving back home without the complete destruction of Hezbollah. Their main fear is that Hezbollah is planning their own 7th of October. So understandably, they are scared to move their families back home until Israel has changed the danger of an attack. I remember when we was last year, and we was talking about, everyone was talking about, why isn't Lebanon kicking this thing off? Why isn't Hezbollah going all in on war, right? And I was saying it from the beginning. There's only one reason. Because Nasrallah is dead now. But back then I said because Nasrallah is just wanting to plan his own 7th of October. Because all the weapons and the tunnels and everything is there in place to do it. That's what they built all that for. That's what they put all those underground tunnels and weapons and staging areas right on the Israeli border, underground in a tunnel. That's the reason. The only reason they did that is to stage an attack just like 7th of October.
Yes, exactly.
And so the people of the North are absolutely correct as to have their fears. You know, it's if I was them, I'd definitely do what I could right now. Probably not to take you and the kids home. The unfortunate truth is they can't fight it because all this year and so Israel has been paying for them to be relocated. The government pays for their hotel, pays for their lack of employment because they've been, they're not where they work anymore, pays for everything. When Israel says now you have to go home, what goes along with that is Israel stops paying for the hotel, stops paying because they expect now you need to go back home and go back to work. And none of these people have the finances to just not go back to work and not go back home and start, living in hotels, unfortunately.
Yes. So, well, on the first day of the ceasefire, Hezbollah already broke the ceasefire agreement 4 times by trying to sneak back into the same villages near the northern Israeli border that was agreed that would stay demilitarized,
or what we also could say is de-Hizbollahized.
De-Hizbollahized, yes. And today, they broke it again, today, Thursday, because it is the second day of ceasefire,
right?
Causing Israel to already carry out an airstrike with our Air Force strike to the weapon side or rocket side that Hezbollah members came back to operate or do something.
Yes.
The IDF didn't say exactly what was the incident, but he said the Hezbollah came back to the side and we had to attack.
Yeah.
So I saw the Arab media, and I have to tell you that there are so many lies out there. Of course, you know. But they also say we broke the ceasefire so many times already.
Well, we did fire, but because it's what they're breaking of the ceasefire.
Yeah, well, they'd say that we injured yesterday when we injured 3 Hezbollah members who came with truck, right, back to village. They say they were civilians, and of course.
But even with all that going on, I would say we're still in a ceasefire.
Yeah.
Because there's no rockets. There's no.
Yes.
It's not. It's just them trying to check the boundaries. See how serious Israel is about the ceasefire agreement points.
Yes.
I would say that's what I think is actually happening.
And this is why we have to be really, really strict.
Exactly. Why we have to be extra strict. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. All eyes are on Hamas and Gaza. Israel is now under pressure from the Israeli public saying that only thing left is to get back all of our hostages out of Gaza. By the way, this week, I'm sure you have seen the horrible flooding in Gaza Strip. In the scripture, we read, the Lord says, we reap what we sow. When Gaza, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but when Gaza attacked Israel on the 7th of October, they called it the flood. Like they were flooding Israel with themselves or whatever. Right? But that's what they called it, the flood. Mm-hmm. This was the name they gave the massacre and kidnapping and raping of Israeli men, women, and children. So now they're reaping what they sowed. They're getting the flood.
Yes, tufan in Arabic.
But the people here in Israel are saying, Hezbollah stepping out of this war, is they hoping, once again, it's us Western people with our Western way of thinking we can figure out how these Muslim, Arab, jihadist, no respect for life groups of people think, right? But people are thinking that because Hezbollah pulled out, Hamas might feel like they're left alone now, and after their Sinwar was taken out, and all their leadership was taken out, hopefully It would put them in a situation finally to wrap this thing up, give us back our hostages, and let's put this thing to an end as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think so.
I agree with you. They presented because they always presented like a victory, even if you see all the ruins in Lebanon, in South Lebanon, they still presented like a victory.
Yeah.
And even though Nasrallah, who's dead right now, he said just 2 days before he was eliminated, he said that we will never disconnect the two arenas, Gaza and Lebanon.
Yes.
And they will always support Gaza. Then he was killed, and now the new leader, Naimo was his name, he's finally kind of made the deal, right? Without making a deal,
Right.
he made the deal. Actually, we separated the two arenas now.
They're separated,
So
from Hamas.
it's a kind of like he was, it's not a victory.
Yeah, but hopefully that's what we see, and we hope it'll
always-
translate over in Gaza and somehow help us get our hostages home.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, but over. Well, I hope so. In Syria now, a new alliance of different groups, including even ISIS, all kinds of terrorist groups are grouped together, are attacking and trying to overthrow the government and Assad. This coup is gaining traction and has taken 21 villages as of now, as well as a few army outposts. Neither of the outcomes, by the way, of this coup, whether they win or lose, is any better than the other for Israel. Just to make that clear, it's not like we care. It's just, but it's something to keep an eye on for sure. But what is absolutely interesting, and wondering how this is going to play out, is that Russia, with Iranian support and weapons, are supporting Assad, the existing leadership, the existing government right now, while Turkey has been showing support to the upcoming rebels who are attacking. So it's almost like we find all of a sudden in a certain place now inside of Syria, which is everyone's backyard playground, seems like, in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Where Turkey isn't right alongside with Russia and Iran. So that's the most interesting thing, I think, out of this whole thing.
Yeah, it is interesting. And whatever will happen there, we know, as you said, they're not Zion lovers. So
it's not like we're rooting for one side or the other because one side's better for us.
But Syria is still on our border, so that's
important. Definitely, it's important. Yeah, but Syria is ever since the Yom Kippur War, Syria has been no threat. Like I said, there's a reason. Syria is no threat to anyone. Everyone's in Syria. Russia's in Syria. U.S. is in Syria. Iran's is in Syria.
Israel
are in Syria all the time, operating and attacking and taking out the strategic place. Syria is just,
Yeah, but what's interesting is how Russia can help Syria if Russia cannot help itself.
I think it's all talk. It's all talk.
Well, Russian planes attacking the rebels, the Su-24.
Yeah.
So.
But all this talk about how they're going to send all this, they can't send in much of anything. They're receiving tons and tons of help from Iran and North Korea, including thousands and even 100,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
So what are they going to be able to, what are they going to do? But anyway, it's been an up and down week. We don't know any moment if we're in a ceasefire or if we're not in a ceasefire, but it has been one of the most positive weeks for the Golden Report in a long time because of our growing with this ministry, because of you guys. So thank you again. You got anything you want to add?
I want to wish happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
For our, followers from the U.S.
Yeah, we just had the turkey and stuff in it and everything else.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Didn't have the ham because, it's Israel. We're Jewish over here. Well, I love you guys, and thank you for all the support you've showed for all these years, all these wonderful years of helping these people here in the state of Israel. Don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next time,
Shabbat Shalom.
God bless.